Hereby call this council meeting held Monday, January 29, 2018 to order. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silence. Please be seated. Okay. Item 6 on the agenda, disclosure of pecuniary interest and nature thereof. Seeing none. Next is item 7, announcements from council and staff. So we'll start off with Councillor Somerville.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I had the honor to go to the Robbie Burns night on Friday evening, January the 25th, to celebrate Robbie Burns' birthday. And at the Legion, they had the usual wonderful Scottish evening with bagpipes and music, Scottish music, and they piped in the haggis, and I even ate some haggis, so it was great. And then Saturday morning, I did an opening at a place in Greenbank. A young girl has started a business. It's called Elevated Beauty by Rachel, and that was on Saturday, January the 26th. She's got a lovely little shop in her home, and for those ladies who would like to have microblading done on their eyebrows, she's starting it, so there you go. If you'd like it done, Mayor, you can have it done too. I don't know whether she does men yet, but she does ladies. That's it.
Councillor Kett.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of announcements. One I'm going to leave to Councillor Guido. But we had a great ice fishing expedition on Saturday with quite a few Chinese people. And Councillor Back's daughter, Belle, entertained everybody singing a song in Chinese, which was interesting. I couldn't follow it, but it sounded pretty good. And it's a great day for the island. We got confirmation that the casino's going to expand with a hotel. So it's all a great day. Thank you.
Great. Councillor Back.
Thank you. Through the mayor, she sang in Mandarin.
That's great. Mandarin, Cantonese. Any other announcements from council? Councillor Guido.
Thank you, and just to assist Councillor Kett, the region of Durham, I believe, was hosting a delegation from China, and that's the reason why they were here. They were doing some ice fishing on our lake on Sunday. On Saturday, Councillor Kett and I had the pleasure of attending the grand opening of Solomon's Castle. It's hosted at the Victory Christian Church, and what it offers our community is something fantastic and spectacular for our youngsters. It is an indoor jumping castle facility that is open on Saturdays and Sundays, and the idea is that you don't just drop your child off there, that you're encouraged to do some jumping as well with your children. I didn't end up having to be a bride, but I asked my son and his friends on the way to our hockey game if we could just pop in, and they actually didn't want to leave. So we really want to thank you and your community for opening this up, and for those in the community that are looking for an alternative to a birthday party, this is something that they are looking to get into the business to as well. So it was a great day. Councillor Kett and I did not jump, but we did watch the kids bounce.
On that note, Pastor John is here. Do you want to come up here and have a picture with council, and that way we can get an opportunity for a photo? That would be fantastic. So if I could ask council to come meet me on the front there, and we'll pose for a mock ribbon cutting. now we've started that, we'll probably be doing that more often. So any other announcements from council and or staff? Councillor Drew?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too had a busy week. I was at the Robbie Burns night, gave greetings on behalf of the township and the region, and the opening of the facility up in Greenbank. And I was, the Chinese delegation was there for an economic development promotional time, and we were able, the Commissioner of Economic Development and Planning from the region was there, and we were able to speak to the Chinese consulate and just advertise Scugog Township very, very well. And he was very impressed with Scugog Township, and I'm sure they had a lovely time ice fishing because it was a really nice day for it. I just, on a sad note, one of our prominent citizens, Doug Farndale, passed away last week, and the funeral is Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Port Perry United Church. Visitation is Friday, 2 to 4, 7 to 9 at Wags. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Just one other event that happened last week was my annual address to the Chamber of Commerce held at the Sunnybray Golf Course. Great attendance, and it was an excellent turnout, and great to see the representation from the business community and working together collaboratively with the Chamber of Commerce members and making sure that Scugog is aligned and open for business. So an excellent opportunity to update and illustrate what this council and staff, how much we've achieved, and give a synopsis of what's happened in last year and what's anticipated on our work plan for 2018. So thank you to all the staff and the councillors who attended for the address, and it's always a great opportunity to have the microphone and showcase all the great things that we're doing. So thank you. Any final calls for council and staff? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is presentations and delegations. So first presentation that we have is I'd like to call up Deborah and Eric Kiesebrink, Eric Kiesebrink, and we have a certificate. I'm just going to actually come on up, and I'll just speak loudly there for the mic. So if I could ask also the council to come down again, and we're going to present, we can have the Kiesebrinks come on up. Sorry. Whoever else you want to come up with you, more the merrier. So I'm just going to stand by a microphone here just so I can speak. While you guys get organized, so just
Stand up.
Come this side, come this way, stand in front of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stand up here.
No, that's okay. So, this certificate of congratulations to Aspen Waters Inn is on receiving prestigious recognition as a top wedding destination. And I believe it's in here. Where was the geographical area? Was it?
It's the Knott Hall of Fame Award. We're the only one in Canada to win
Only
that.
one in Canada. That's absolutely amazing. So very proud to have such excellent operators, family-owned business, and showcase to the rest of North America and the world, because many international clientele on a successful operation and a long list of people wanting to have their weddings or events there, or just to stay. And on behalf of the council, the township staff, all the residents, that we congratulate you on excellent operation and all the work that you put in showcasing this. Anybody who knows of Aspen Waters Inn Estate or had an event there speaks so highly of it, and we're very proud to have you as part of our residence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Look straight ahead, everyone.
Good.
Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
that a lot.
What a surprise. So sweet. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So much.
Thank
So
you.
proud of you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot.
Thank you.
And the next presentation we have, and I'm just going to stay here because the microphone is here, and then I'll ask everybody to join me again. There was many of you read it in the news, actually, getting ahead of myself here. Can I ask the Chief Barney to join me over here, and the rest of council to also join me on the floor here, and we'll present the certificate to, are you on the floor here?
I don't need it. Yeah. Yeah. Mayor Rowett, members of council, senior staff, ladies and gentlemen. On the morning of December 30th, 2016, at approximately 6:30 a.m., Mr. Moore was traveling west along Shirley Road en route to Whitby when he encountered, quote-unquote, oncoming vehicles appearing through a wall of smoke. Mr. Moore stopped in front of 911 Shirley Road and proceeded to find a livestock pen on fire. He immediately called 911 to report the fire. Now, with the assistance, the livestock pen was forced open and the animals herded away from what would have been certain death. But by this time, the fire had spread to the attached garage and was now threatening the dwelling. In an attempt to alert the residents, Mr. Moore began banging on windows and finding an open door, began yelling, "Fire, fire." He successfully aroused the people within the dwelling, and within seconds, the residents were out of the house and safe. On December 30th, 2016, memories were lost as a result of the fire. However, on this day, the heroic actions of Mr. Moore may well have saved lives. And for that, Mr. Moore, thank you and congratulations.
So we're going to get the fire chief to come up here too, beside James, sorry, there. And to add to the fire chief's summary of the events, this is a certificate of appreciation to Jim Moore in recognition of the outstanding action you took upon discovering a fire at a home on Shirley Road and acting so bravely and assisting family and their animals, alerting them from the fire, the call for help. And thank you for your exemplary efforts and kind gestures. And we want to thank you for being such an excellent citizen and family members for being part of this. So on behalf of council, the staff, and the residents, we are so proud that your residents, you live and reside in the area, and that you took the time out of your commute and was taking that extra initiative and saved what lives of animals and which could have been people's lives. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice the way you wrote that up. Thank you.
Thank you.
I should be shaking the other hand? How was the leader?
Goodness sake.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Isn't this a great township we live in? Jeez. So on to the next item, we have 8.3 on the agenda. Christine Neumberger, Vice President of People, Lakeridge Health, Master Plan Stakeholder Engagement for Durham Region. So welcome, and I believe you have a presentation that's loaded on the computer, so... yes, and while we're getting set up here, any of the audience members, feel free to vacate as much as we like the audience. We know the weather's bad out there, so drive safely. And there goes our audience. So, thank you, Ms. Neumberger. The floor is yours.
Pleasure. Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Christine Neumberger, and I am the Vice President of People with Lakeridge Health. And we are appreciative of your time to tell you a little bit about an initiative that is going to be significant to the work that we do in serving the needs of the Durham region through healthcare, and an opportunity to share with you this information and engage your support in making sure that people know of their opportunity to participate in the conversation. So I'll begin with telling you a little bit about Lakeridge Health. You'll be aware that Lakeridge is a 5-hospital system with acute care facilities in Ajax, Bowmanville, Port Perry, Oshawa, and we have a specialized rehab and complex care site in Whitby. We are the provider of regional health services for cancer care, for mental health, for eye care, shoulder orthopedics, and nephrology services. Our emergency departments are amongst the busiest in the province of Ontario. We have close to 5,000 staff and close to 800 doctors who work together to provide high-quality healthcare services for those here in Durham region. The focus for this evening's conversation is around a piece of work that is just beginning, but has impact for the work we will be doing together to provide health services for the future coming decades. And it is a master planning process that we have the unique opportunity to undertake through consultation with stakeholders who partake of our services and have a vision that they share for what we can bring together in providing health to the Durham region. A little bit about this process. The development of a master plan is indeed an opportunity to be seized upon for an organization. It creates a guide, a roadmap for our services, for our programs, for our supports, and for our physical infrastructure for the future, for 5, 10, and 25 and beyond years. And so in beginning this work, we look to the evidence around how we go about evidence-based planning in order to consult with those who use these services and understand their needs. And we look to the forecasts of our demographics to understand and project what those needs might look like. It includes as well evaluating our current physical structures and making sure that we leverage the existing capabilities within those buildings, defining what future developments may look like, and thinking into the future around the delivery of acute care services. In these early stages, our job is to make sure that this is understood to be an open conversation. It is our intent to promote as broadly as we can the fact that these are consultations that are intended to be broad-based and an opportunity for community members to share with us their experience of healthcare services and their thoughts about where we go next in planning for our healthcare services. It's a undertaking that will take us several months to complete. The consultation phase has begun, but by the spring of 2019, our master plan will be submitted to the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care. So we undertake this exercise mindful of a couple of key principles. It begins with an appreciation that we need to hear the voice of internal program experts, our partners who also provide healthcare services to the residents in Durham Region, members of the broader community, and it's a chance to hear their thoughts about our future state for health services. Data and demographics are, of course, important drivers of this conversation. It's going to give us that forecast of what we need going into the future, and it's an opportunity for us to conduct the analysis that will help us understand future utilization within Durham Region. That, of course, is to be supplemented by the stories and the experiences and the personal wishes and aspirations of those who use our services so that we can bring that qualitative aspect to the quantitative work that we must do in order to fulfill our obligation in creating a sustainable master plan. Our approach is also mindful of the patient's first philosophy and policy of the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care, meaning that we always put patients first and we think to our community and their needs before we think to the organizational needs. It is fully our intention to leverage our existing hospital sites as much as possible and to find ways to optimize their functionality to make sure that they are part of that master plan. We have also been successful within the organization in using a Centers of Excellence model in how we design our care, and continue to see that as a way forward. It is a way of leveraging and housing expertise and centralizing resources in a way that we have found to be a very effective operational model. And core to the consultation approach is this dialogue that we wish to hold with the broader community and stakeholders who use our services, including our community partners across the Central East Lynn who are also healthcare providers and without whom we cannot put together a health system. We recognize that we are a big player in what people understand as their health offerings, but we are only one and we are part of a much broader system. So their voices in this consultation will also be actively sought. Our engagement approach then has begun and will roll out in a number of phases. The consultation is very much intended to tap into the knowledge and the experience and the expertise of those who have a direct interest in the services that we provide. And so residents and patients, their family members, other providers, internal user groups, and external health givers will all be invited to be part of this process. The consultation began just after the holidays and will continue into March of this year. And our commitment is that once we have gathered that feedback, we will share back what we have heard. The themes and the understandings and the aspirations that people have told us are important in putting forward this master plan. And so we will be working to make sure we gather the voices of many, and special advice has been provided to us to think carefully about engaging those who may be socially marginalized or ethno-cultural groups who perhaps don't have the usual venues to engage in this type of conversation. And so we are taking lots of good advice around how we can make sure that this message reaches them and that they know that they are most welcome to participate in this conversation. We will be using a number of tools to get the word out about this consultation and the invitation to participate, including a web-based survey that will be accessed off of our website and open to all residents of Durham Region. We plan on holding 2 tele-town halls, which can hopefully gain us an audience of 20,000 plus people who will have an opportunity to dial in and be part of an interactive town hall with us through the phone lines. We are planning 5 local focus groups across the Durham region that will allow us to bring the conversation to business groups, advocacy groups, ethnocultural representatives, and a chance to hold facilitated conversation with them about what they see for the healthcare of Durham region. We also know that we have to make special effort to reach out to groups who may not have the usual avenues of reaching us. And so our intent to reach out to long-term care providers and community support providers, recognizing that they are part of this continuum of care that we provide, will be facilitated through specially organized sessions for those audiences. And lastly, we plan something that we call resident dialogue sessions. It's our hope toward the end of the consultation that we will be able to put together 20 to 30 representative players who will come to the table and be a sounding board to understand some of the themes as we have heard them and to reflect back their thoughts on what these messages mean and how this can influence the work that we're conducting to create this master plan. And so we're looking forward to that work in mid-March. Our questions are pretty straightforward, and these are the same questions that we will take throughout all of these avenues of conversation to make sure that we are sparking a similar dialogue wherever we go. Our intent is to make sure that we understand what is working well for people, and so our question will be about what Lakeridge Health should continue to do. We're also inviting people to share with us their thoughts around barriers to accessing services. And so we will put that question directly to them and invite them to share their thoughts around what might impede their access to services right now. And lastly, we want people to think boldly toward the future, and so we will be inviting their feedback about innovative ways to do what we do differently and do it better and do it with a far-reaching look into the future around what health services might look like. And so with those three broad-based questions, we will continue these consultations and look forward to a lot of active dialogue. We are sharing broadly the contact name and information of my colleague, Mark Murphy. He is a Senior Director of Capital and Planning for Lakeridge Health, and he is the backbone to this exercise. Mark's information is going to be broadly distributed through presentations such as these and the other tools that I had just referenced as part of our consultation method. And we would encourage any thoughts or advice about how we promote this consultation through Mark or through our website. And so with that, I'll pause and happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Ms. Neumberger. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But I will look to Council, and Councillor Drew can start us off.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your presentation. Excellent presentation. Is this something that all hospitals are doing in Ontario, or is this unique to Lakeridge Health?
So this is an opportunity that comes through the Ministry of Health, and it is not the sort of thing that happens on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. It is a carefully planned exercise, and so it is Lakeridge's time to do this comprehensive exercise. And so we do it with the direction of the Ministry of Health, and there are certainly prescriptive elements that are part of the exercise that we must follow.
Okay, thank you. And that's good news, because my next question was going to be you would be providing this information to the Ministry of Health to guide them in future planning and future financial support over the next 25 years or so.
It's a big part of the dialogue in laying out the programs and the services as well as the physical infrastructure. There, of course, becomes a conversation around what's required to make that vision so. So the funding considerations and what it takes to meet the needs of residents in Durham Region is a big piece that is around that.
I was thinking, as you're doing this, there has been just a recent announcement about the Bowmanville Hospital, mm-hmm. and I was mm-hmm. thinking, I hope that fits into what you're finding are the needs for Lakeridge Health.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Councillor Somerville.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you very much for that good presentation. I once worked at Lakeridge Health as a nurse, so I know it well. You talked about Lakeridge Health, and you also mentioned about having the Town Hall series. Mm-hmm. Are you doing that around Durham Region, like it's in Port Perry, so that people can comment on how Lake Ridge Health can help Port Perry, Bowmanville, Ajax, Ajax, that's not in it, Whitby. Are you going to do it in different locations so that there's feedback from each community?
Yes, that is absolutely the intent. There's a variety of tools that will be used to take in this feedback, and so local focus groups will be an opportunity to take a deep dive into the 5 regions within the region, but other tactics are meant to be broad-based. So the survey through our website is something that anybody can access. The Teletown is fueled by technology that allows us to promote a 1-800 number that allows anybody to dial into that teleconference that evening, and then through a queuing system ask questions about the information that they're hearing. So the intent is to use a broad range of tools that it meets people where they are and is inclusive in accepting their advice and their thoughts.
It's a fabulous idea. That was really good. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Kett.
Thank you, Mayor, through you. I just have a question, because I'm not as familiar as Councillor Somerville. I could have asked her later on. But I didn't hear Uxbridge, so they're not part of the Lake Ridge group?
So Uxbridge is affiliated with Markham Stouffville.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Pleasure.
Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, I would like to thank you for your presentation
Thank you for
and
your time.
update for council, and we look forward to being a part of the communication going forward. So,
Thank you for the opportunity.
thank you. So I now need a mover and a seconder for the presentation. Councillor Kett, seconded by Councillor Somerville. All those in favor? Carried. Next item, this is my favorite part of the agenda, is the consent agenda. I need a mover and a seconder for the consent agenda, save and accept the ones that are pulled. Moved by Councillor Watt and seconded by Councillor Guido. Items that have been, I'll list off the items that have already been pulled. Councillor Guido, 9.1.1, which is December 18th council. Councillor Somerville, 9.1.5 and 9.1.6, the 2 BIA minutes. Councillor Kett has pulled 9.1.8, the Economic Development Advisory Committee. 9.2.1, Professional Development and Performance Policy, Councillor Back has pulled that. Councillor Somerville, 06-18, Authorized OMCC Enabling Bylaw. And Councillor Guido, the Appointment MLEO and Lottery Licensing Officer Bylaw. And I'm just looking at the clerk, if there's any other amendments or changes that would require the specific bylaws to be changed, they would be automatically pulled for changes, right? So, any items that have not been pre-pulled, Councillor Guido?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's not an item that I necessarily required to be pulled, but I think to acknowledge 09-18 and the report 9.2.2 regarding the Clean Water and Wastewater Fund. Just wanted to extend congratulations and thanks to staff that worked on the extension, as well as a thanks to MPP Anderson, who allowed this extension for a much needed financial assistance to help with the stormwater management pond in Victorian Village, so that is greatly appreciated.
Yes, thank you, and it's been great news with the grants that have been that we've been receiving positive support for, and there's a couple big ones that hopefully we'll be hearing from shortly. So again, I echo the thanks to staff and for all the work involved in those grant applications, and our regional council, our MPP, Granville Anderson, who I was speaking with again today at the Island, Mississauga Sagooga Island First Nation announcement, and he's been working really hard for us and making sure on those extensions, as well as getting the support that we need for the future grants. So we won't need to pull that because comment on it, but Councillor Kett, did you have another one to pull that wasn't pulled?
9.2.1, is that?
9.2.1 is pulled by Councillor Back already. Any other items being pulled? All right, So all those that have been listed will be pulled. The remainder will be approved as recommended in the consent agenda. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. So I look, as we go to them, that the person who pulled it would be the mover, and I would ask for, so moved by Councillor Guido for 9.1.1. I need a seconder for that. Councillor Watton and Councillor Guido.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On page 13 of our council agenda, there's just a administrative correction that needs to occur to the terms of reference for the Economic Development and Tourism Committee regarding some wording that needs to be added in collaboration with the BIA. It was added to the incorrect line or reference within the terms of reference. Our clerk is aware and the changes will be made, but just wanted to have that formally changed in council.
And I believe all of council received an email just talking about the administrative change, so everybody's aware of it, and this will also affect the bylaw 99-17 when we get to it. So, any other questions on that, or Mr. Clerk, you don't need to address anything else? Councillor Catt?
Not on the same item, but a different issue on the council.
Okay.
Yes, I just wanted a clarification on the BIA presentation they made, and there was mention of some a meeting on December the 6th, and also the letter of May the 23rd regarding the forensic audit. I'm just wondering if we ever got a written confirmation from our auditor saying that there is no problem, and also if we had written confirmation from our legal department saying that we shouldn't do the forensic audit.
What part are you looking at on the minutes?
No, it's not in the minutes because, I mean, it was conversation that was brought up on December the 18th. But it's, page 5 is where the presentation is.
Page 5 of the presentation? I mean, that's a presentation that,
Yes, I understand that.
Receiving,
There was
so-
some information brought up at that time.
but you weren't forming part of a report or part of a...
No, I'm just asking the question right now, or maybe we should have a report brought back, just assuring council that that's all been performed, that's all. It's nothing very...
Ms. Valentin, do you want the opportunity to ask for clarification or what Councillor Kett is seeking there, just to find out if it's already been addressed or not?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe our auditors, I haven't received anything written. We did have correspondence with the auditor and legal with regards to whether a forensic audit was necessary. The audit went through, and it would not have gone through if some further detail was required.
Okay, so I'd just like from our legal department, just somebody to say that this council doesn't have to be concerned with anything. So I think that would be...
Well, you brought up the question, the concern. It's not, certainly not going to be part of this commenting on the presentation that was done, but why don't you seek an answer outside of this, because it's not part of this particular item, and then you can reach out directly to the staff, because there'd be a appropriate place, whether it's a follow-up or is needed or not. So, all right. Any other items on this particular report? Okay, seeing none. Minutes to be approved, except for the administrative change. All those in favor? Carried. Next item is item 9.1.5, pulled by Councillor Somerville, and I'm just seeing if we have a seconder here. We need a seconder for that, Councillor Guido. Okay, Councillor Somerville?
It's only, thank you, Mr. Mayor, it's only a quick question, because on page 33, in the minutes, then the Christmas light project has requested that $10,000 for lighting be used for its project 10,000, and then on page 34, they said, we've asked the township to spend 15,000 on Christmas lighting for the park for 2018. Which did they use, 10,000 or 15,000, or where did that come from? And I guess I have to ask my treasurer.
Okay, so there's Councillor Guido that may have some insight, also Ms. Valentin, Director of Finance, has also been corresponding with there, but I'll start off with Councillor Guido if you had clarity.
Yes, I think I can help out with this. So on page 33 of the minutes is a report back from our expenditures for BIA's expenditures for 2017, but further on in the minutes is a request for consideration in the municipal budget for lighting of trees in Palmer Park. As we're aware, Palmer Park is not necessarily in the BIA's area, and they were hoping to have a partnership with the township to assist in lighting more trees in the upcoming Christmas season for this year.
And so how much did they spend? Do they know how much they spent?
How much they spent this year? I don't know the exact amount. I can, unless Councillor Back knows the exact dollar value, I can get that for you and let you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
That was just a question.
If we don't know, I'd rather not guess at it. But, Councillor Back, you have?
Thank you, through the mayor. There was a combination because some of the lights that you see on the buildings, those were with the same company but paid for by the building owners, either be the business owners or the building owners, and just the park where the arc and the couple trees and the gazebo, I'm thinking about $6,000 was the amount.
Oh, that's good.
So, again, if it's an estimate, I wouldn't want to focus in on the number that's spent unless it came from the BIA numbers directly. I do know that as part of the presentation that the BIA, with the annual update and the request, and then a follow-up letter that was then subsequently sent to the Economic Development and also to the operating budget process, that is underway, and it's part of our operating budget, which we will see come back to us, that ask. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to it or not.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I believe looking at the minutes, one speaks to 2017, which is the treasurer's report, and the other is the ask, which at this point, it will come forward in the budget coming forward, the amount that the township is able to provide this year. It won't be the full amount, but we will be providing something through the budget for them.
That's fine. They did a lovely job. I just want to add that too. The park looks lovely. Thank you very much for making it look so Christmassy. And thank you.
Councillor Kett?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just wondering if, from my clarification, when the BIA does their budget, would they put in how much they're putting in towards the lighting and then an ask from the township?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I haven't seen the budget yet. I will be working with the treasurer of the BIA to go over his budget with him. From our perspective, from the township perspective, it would be a contribution towards it.
Okay. Okay, that's all to do with the budget, but I do have other questions on that. When we were in EDAC on last Friday, there was a mention of all the garbage cans that they'd supplied in the last few years. I'm just wondering, does somebody from the BIA know if that's included in what's on the main street, or, because everybody seems to be supplying garbage cans.
Any BIA members have extra information provided for it? Because I do know as part of the presentation, it's again making its way through the process for the ask process.
I can add a little bit, and then Councillor Kett, I'd be more than happy to talk afterwards about BIA stuff. There's an MOU between the township and the BIA for a partnership for funding the garbage cans, and with the ask for lighting in the park, along came as well an ask for funding for garbage cans for the downtown core. And this is all subject to our budget approval, which will be coming forth in the next couple of weeks or months for our budget approval.
Well, I can appreciate that, but I think my question's more about the garbage cans that were already supplied from the EDAC that was mentioned the other day in our meeting. I'm just wondering, are they...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Councillor Ketter. Are these in the minutes right here that we're talking about? Because I don't want to...
They are in the minutes.
In these minutes?
Yeah.
Is there a page number to deal with? We're talking
Page
about...
32.
And what is the reference here?
It says there's an MOU with the town to try and get garbage cans.
So you're asking for clarity on past
There's an ask for
contributions?
garbage cans, but apparently there was already garbage cans. I'm just wondering if that's an overlap, or what is that?
All right, Councillor Back is another BIA representative. Maybe you can add some enlightenment to it.
Thank you, through the mayor. It's a replacement of beat-up garbage cans that are existing. Some of those, I don't know how many years old they are, and they're not looking their best. So the BIA is hoping, because the memo of understanding for the township and the BIA is on certain projects, capital projects, that they will go 50/50. So they're hoping, as well, reflection of the Heritage District to get nicer, fancier sort of garbage cans that will reflect the Heritage District as well as not looking like beat-up garbage cans.
All right, any other question, Councillor Ken?
No, it's good, thank you.
Okay, anything else for this particular item that was pulled, 9.1.5? All right, seeing none, minutes of Port Perry Business Improvement Area Board held November 21st be endorsed. All those in favor? Carried. Next item pulled, moved by council, is the next one, 9.1.6, the December 19th CIA minutes, moved by Councillor Somerville, seconded by Councillor Back. And Councillor Somerville?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry, yes, that should have been dealt with. It.
Yes, sure. Mayor, I'd just like to say that I'm pleased that we basically got the wording changed, and so I don't think there's really any issue.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Good. Councillor Drew?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On page 50, I just wanted to add, it's with the lake stewards there, the last item, I think. Where the heck is it? Oh. Yeah, 51, oh, whatever it is, wherever it is, on the lead partners with the lake stewards, the lead partners should also include KRCA.
Did you find the page number on that?
Yeah, is it 50? Okay.
Okay. Section 4A, just to add the KRCA as leads on it, right?
Yes.
I see lead column where it says partners, Lake Stewards Township, EDAC, Region, OMAFRA, and KRCA should be there. Okay. Any other comments on that one? I wasn't going to pull it, but since it's pulled, I just very pleased to see the movement forward on the industrial site selector guide and business guide to Urban Fort Perry, and I know that we received partnership funding with the region on this initiative, and looking forward to seeing this be deployed. So congratulations to the committee and and our regional support partners for this initiative, and it'll help us through the CIP process for the employment lands, and also I'm wondering if was asking if we can have enhancements to it too, to help with our other Chamber and BIA initiatives, but it might be involved with phase 2. Any other questions on this? All right, seeing none. The minutes to be, School Grants Advisory Committee held December 20th, 2017 being endorsed. All those in favor? Carried. Next item being pulled by Councillor Back, 9.2.1. 9.2.1, which is the, moved by Councillor Back, seconded by Councillor Drew. Councillor Back, you pulled it?
Thank you. Through the mayor to our HR specialist. First off, thank you for this report. I think it's a timely report and much needed, especially with the aspects of identifying future leaders, because as we know, in the next 4 to 5 years, a lot of upper management will be retiring. And if you can find a way to get sort of your star employees ready and prepped, because some of them might not even think that they are management material, but if you can encourage that and see it in them, I think these tools will help lead us in the next 5 to 10 years and onward. With regards to, on page 73, where this is more for the management and the non-unionized, and I know that it does mention a little bit, it talks a little bit in the report of the unionized employees. So currently is there an evaluation process like this for the unionized, or that is your next steps?
Thank you, Councillor, through you, the Mayor. There is not currently a tool, there is a tool that's currently in place that hasn't been utilized for many, many years. The goal is to then implement this tool for the unionized group as well. I've had some early meetings with the CUPE union, who is in favor of us implementing this as a management strategy to help to identify leaders and provide opportunity for others to move throughout the organization and set some long and short-term goals.
Great, so then that in turn is an opportunity for the unionized staff as well, for them to look and to be mentored for leadership as well?
Through the Mayor, yes, absolutely. That's exactly the intent for both unionized, non-unionized, and management employees.
Perfect, and I think you'll find, you're going to find a higher retention rate as well when people are actually, valued and sort of pushed into, well, not pushed, but gently swayed into to leadership. It's just like people that public speak. A lot of people don't like to until they actually learn and they get their voice, and then they find out that they actually can be persuasive and improve other people's lives. So thank you for that. As I said, it's a long time coming. And I think that is, Section 77 on procedure. So the first one, 4.01, so this looks like it's for new hires. So what happens, is this initially this whole report and the strategy, is it only going to be on new hires first? Or if somebody's been here longer than 6 months, do you just automatically go to the next step? Like, how does that work?
Through the Mayor, you would automatically go to the next step. So 4.01 is for new employees. So upon hire, a new employee is on probation for a 6-month period. At the end of that 6-month period, the expectation would be that this tool is implemented, and then again at the 1-year mark as well.
Great, and it's always good to have people, because I know you came, I believe, from the health care and I can't speak today, the healthcare industry, thank you. So it's nice to see different insight with regards to our policies here, and I think this will, as I said, help our current staff and hopefully retain and emerge new leaders.
Great. Thank you.
Councilor Back, you mentioned 4 or 5 years. I mean, 20 years minimum that senior management has to stay before they can leave. Councilor Drew,
through the Mayor, I don't believe our CAO's, I don't think his long-term goals were to stay for 20 years. I think he'd like to enjoy his retirement, well-earned retirement in the next 10 anyhow.
20 years. Councilor Drew?
I didn't have my hand up, but I do want to say thank you for the report. No reflection on the way things have been done in the past. But we did only have a part-time HR person.
That's correct.
And in the last couple of years, a totally new senior management staff. So her hands were really, really tied. But we really appreciate that now that there's a little bit more time in the position, that we're able to come up with these great policies. And so there's a lot of thought and research done into this, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Cat.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not sure if this got covered under 401 or not, but I just saw that there was a 6-month probation period, or whether it will be extended. So if it wasn't extended, would it be terminated?
Through the mayor. So there are times and instances where an individual does not successfully complete the probationary period, resulting in termination. There are also times when an individual's probationary period can be extended. So the extension is to continue to provide coaching and mentoring and try to create opportunity for that person to improve. So oftentimes we will extend a probationary period waiting for that, or looking for that improvement.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? All right, great report. Things are really being tightened up. Very happy to see all the reports coming forward and all the changes. So thank you for all the effort and all the staff involved with this, and looking forward to the results of it. So that being said, we had a mover and a seconder. The motion as recommended. Any questions on it? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Next item being pulled is 0618 by Councillor Somerville, the OMCC enabling bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is amazing, $92,000 that we have that we have a transfer payment here, an agreement. But I'm just wondering, who do I ask the question to? Because Kevin put this together. Carol, I guess I ask you. Yeah. So do we have an approved plan, or a link to the approved plan yet for this?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the councillor, so our approved plan for
the money, for the 99,000 or 97,000 or 92,000, sorry.
Yes, we have included in our budget for both of the projects that we plan to spend.
Okay.
So it's approved in the capital budget to do a cycling plan, which is $45,000 total, and I think it's something like $38,000 funded. And the other one is a new trail along Simcoe and on Reed Street as part of the regional reconstruction of the intersection.
Yeah, I saw that. That's going to be a really good one. Yeah, that was my only question. I think I just wanted to make sure that we have an approved plan and whether it was going to be implemented right away. So thank you.
I apologize, I forgot to announce it was Councillor Somerville who moved that and Councillor Guido who seconded that. Any other questions on that? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Next item is the 0718 pulled by Councillor Guido. I need a... Oh yeah, Councillor Guido.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Simply pulled it for the reason that we no longer need to pass this bylaw.
Okay, and since it's pulled, we're not moving or seconding anything or voting on it. Any other questions on that? All right. Next item is, that's the end of our portion of the agenda, so we are now moving to the confirming bylaw, which is sorry, just before that we are at any new business? None. Confirming bylaw, which is number 14, moved by Councillor Guido. We need a seconder for that. Councillor Somerville. That bylaw number 1318, confirming the proceedings of the regular council meeting held Monday, January 29, 2018, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passes 29th day of January 2018. The mayor and clerk are hereby directed to sign same and affix corporate seal thereto. Any questions on the confirming bylaw? All those in favor? Carried. And before we adjourn, I just want to tell everybody to drive safely because the weather was bad out there, and keep the speed according to the weather. And we got moved by Councillor Guido, seconder, Councillor Watton. All those in favor of the adjournment? Carried. Thank you very much, everyone.
It's amazing.